Have you ever noticed that evenings are basically the Bermuda Triangle of productivity? I always start off with the best intentions. Tonight, I'm finally going to work on my business. I'll read a book, maybe even meditate and unlock the secrets of the universe. But the moment I get home, my brain pulls a fast one. I'll just check Instagram real quick. Boom. 2 hours later, I'm deep in the weird side of YouTube watching a raccoon solve a Rubik's Cube. Now I'm exhausted. I'll just take a tiny nap, I tell myself, fully convinced that I have control over this decision. Fast forward, it's 1 a.m. and my mom is yelling, "Get up and go to bed!" I wake up confused, wondering what year it is. Meanwhile, my productivity? Poof, gone, never to be seen again. Then, one day, I stumbled across an article titled, "Things You Can Do to Stop Wasting Your Evenings After Work." It promised to turn my chaotic nights into a well-oiled machine of productivity and self-improvement. And because I'm a sucker for a good life hack, I decided to give it a shot. But it did not go as planned. The article suggested a mindset shift. Stop treating evenings as recovery time, use them for growth. It said that instead of mindlessly scrolling, binge-watching, or dissolving into my couch, I should see my evenings as a golden opportunity for self-improvement, goal-setting, and personal growth. Apparently, this small mindset shift could be the secret to boosting productivity, building better habits, and actually taking control of my time. All right, that made sense. If I really wanted to grow my business, develop success habits, and finally become the brilliant entrepreneur I was obviously meant to be, I needed to stop wasting my evenings and start using them wisely. Fueled by motivation and way too much caffeine, I imagined my new unstoppable self. Planning my business like a true visionary. Reading books on productivity, success, and high-performance habits. Ending my night with a peaceful mindfulness routine, because all successful people meditate, right? And then, my brain had a brilliant idea. Wait, you can't possibly work like this. Your desk is a mess. You need to fix this immediately before you do anything productive. Next thing I knew, I was rearranging my entire workspace. The laptop was forgotten, the business plan was still untouched, and somehow I ended up spending 2 hours researching ergonomic office chairs, because clearly my success depended on lumbar support. So far, my evening productivity journey was off to a fantastic start. What I learned is, mindset shifts are great, but execution is key. I need to stop Googling best office chairs for people who nap at work and actually work. Procrastination loves a disguise. Cleaning is just procrastination wearing a cleaning glove. Time to embrace the mess and get stuff done. I need to stop thinking cleaning any mess around me is productive. Yes, even that pile of laundry judging me from the corner. Next, the article dropped a bold claim. Energy management is more important than time management. The strategy suggests working in 90-minute focus sessions, followed by intentional relaxation techniques to maintain mental clarity and keep productivity levels high. Sounded genius, a foolproof productivity hack. So, with the determination of a high-performance habits guru, I set a 90-minute work timer and told myself, this is it, I'm unstoppable. For the first 10 minutes, I was on fire, firing off emails, brainstorming business ideas, and channeling the energy of an over-caffeinated productivity coach. Then, at minute 11, my brain decided to hit me with a random fact. Sitting too much is bad for your heart health. Thanks, brain, for the unsolicited health advice. I figured, hey, maybe I should change my position for 10 minutes. That's what productive, health-conscious people do, right? So I stood up, stretched dramatically like I was in a yoga commercial, and thought, this is it. I'm about to become the poster child for ergonomic productivity. But then my body had other plans. Instead of pacing around or doing a quick workout, I somehow ended up lying down on the floor. Just for a second, of course. I told myself, I'll just rest my eyes while I brainstorm more business ideas. But actually, I did not brainstorm. 2 hours later, I woke up in a state of existential confusion. My to-do list was still glaring at me, my laptop had given up on life, 0% battery, thanks for nothing, and I had a faint imprint of the carpet on my face. Turns out, my attempt at energy optimization and heart health had turned into an accidental floor nap. What I learned is that if you're going to worry about heart health while working, maybe invest in a standing desk or a treadmill workstation. Or, just don't lie down, ever. So, if you're serious about energy management and time management, here's my advice. Set a timer for your focus sessions, but also set one for your breaks. Keep your workspace ergonomic, but not too comfortable. No couches, no floors, no beds. If you feel the urge to lie down, run. Literally. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go Google how to stay awake while working and best standing desks for accidental nappers. The article also introduced me to 2 digital wellness strategies to fight off energy vampires like my phone, but I failed spectacularly at both. The idea sounded simple. Delete one distracting app every night to reclaim your focus. I decided to start with Instagram, feeling like a self-discipline ninja. Look at me, deleting apps like a productivity guru. 10 minutes later, I reinstalled it. Why? Because I thought, what if I check a post from one of those influencers I follow? Maybe their hustle quotes will give me the energy to continue. Spoiler, their perfectly filtered lives just made me feel worse, and I still accomplished nothing. Lesson learned, app mortality works great until you realize you've deleted the app you use to avoid doing actual work. Maybe next time I'll delete my weather app instead. 2. The analog hour. No devices before bed. Next, I tried the analog hour, no devices for 60 minutes before bed. I placed my phone in another room, picked up a book, and embraced the silence like a monk. Within 5 minutes, I was in full panic mode. What if someone texted me? What if there was an emergency? What if I suddenly needed to Google how long turtles live? I lasted 15 minutes before sprinting to the kitchen, retrieving my phone, and hugging it like a long-lost friend. Turns out, my technology boundaries are about as strong as a wet paper towel. Lesson learned. The analog hour is great in theory, but in practice, it's just 60 minutes of me wondering if I'm missing out on memes or breaking news about turtles. Final thought. Well, while app mortality and the analog hour sound like genius strategies, they're only effective if you have more self-control than a toddler in a candy store. For now, I'll stick to my current routine, scrolling Instagram until my eyes bleed and Googling random facts about turtles at 2 a.m. The next tip was that creating a calming environment would boost my evening productivity. Perfect, I thought. I dim the lights, light some candles, and turn my apartment into a Zen paradise where I could finally become the focused, high-performance human I was meant to be. So, naturally, I went all in. I bought a Himalayan salt lamp because glowing pink rocks equals success, obviously, some essential oils, lavender, eucalyptus, and a small indoor jungle of plants to purify the air and purify my soul. I set the mood. Soft lighting, peaceful music, deep breaths. I was officially in my mindfulness era. And then I noticed something smelled weird. That's when I looked up and realized the flowers on my table were on fire. Yes, in my quest for inner peace, I had accidentally committed arson. Cue full panic mode. I threw water everywhere, knocked over a chair, and probably traumatized my neighbors with my screams. By the time the chaos was over, my calming environment was a disaster zone and a crime scene of bad decisions. So, lesson learned, maybe productivity isn't about ambiance. Maybe it's just about doing the work. But let's be honest, I'll probably still buy another plant for the vibes. Because the previous ones were all dead. I only watered them once. Turns out, plants need more than good intentions and a single splash of water to survive. Who knew? Maybe this time I'll get a cactus. At least they're hard to kill. Probably. The truth is, habit stacking sounds amazing in theory, but in practice, it's just a fast track to burnout or accidentally becoming a push-up champion. Maybe I'll stick to one habit at a time, like not Googling how to be productive while procrastinating. At the end, productivity isn't about perfect routines, fancy habit hacks, or optimizing every little detail. It's about actually sitting down and doing the work. So here's the real plan. Check. Less thinking, more doing. No more tricking myself into productivity with unnecessary tasks. One habit at a time. Small, consistent actions will always beat overcomplicated strategies. Breaks are for recharging, not accidental naps. If I feel the urge to lie down, I will walk, stretch, or just dramatically stare into the distance instead. No more quick phone checks, because we all know where that leads. If I can stick to this, my evenings won't just be less chaotic, they might actually be productive. And if not, well, at least I'll have a well-organized desk and a thriving cactus. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more painfully relatable productivity struggles, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next attempt at self-discipline or accidental napping. And remember, productivity isn't about overthinking it. It's about convincing yourself you're making a shift, creating a little chaos, and hoping that somehow in the near future, you'll actually get something done. Because, hey, progress is progress, right?